Alright boys, what's going on? So if you guys watched my last video, which some of you guys may have missed the last video because I actually had a couple people tell me that YouTube never sent out the notification for the last video. So if you didn't see that video, definitely check it out and support your boy. That is actually the longest video I have ever personally made in my entire life, not just on this channel. But if you did watch that video, you probably know that some old weirdo decided to tell some people on Twitter some of my personal information, and in that video I asked you guys if you would like me to elaborate on some of that information that the old weirdo decided to tell people on Twitter, and a lot of you guys actually said you would like to hear a story about it. So here I am with a new storytime video. I actually haven't done a storytime video in like 3 or 4 months, so the people who enjoy the storytime videos, here you go. Before we do get into the video though, I gotta say, follow me on my new Twitter account at @stilldoubted. Unfortunately, I got permabanned off Twitter on my old account for some of the things that I was saying to the LGBTQ people who would not get out of my mentions. So follow me on my new Twitter account. I'm gonna be staying pretty low key for a while on my Twitter account. I'm gonna slowly be bringing my name back and my bio back and all that sort of stuff. I couldn't make the anything about my actual name obviously, or they will just instantly ban you, because once you get suspended you actually aren't supposed to make another account, and they will just keep instantly banning you if you make new accounts. So you can't make your account anything related to your old one. So again, follow me over there at @stilldoubted, and of course I'm continuing to try to appeal to get my old account back, because I would like to have my old back, but if I don't ever get my old account back, this is going to be my new account for good. So this is going to be the story of how I went to Juvie and became a felon, because yes, I'm sure none of you guys know this, but your boy is actually a felon even though all of my charges are juvenile charges. This story in particular I think is a really good story to tell, because it shows how much you can change your life in just a matter of 2 years. I'm sure a lot of you who watch my videos now are the same age or around the same age that I was when I first did all of this stuff, but also because the percentage of re-offenders as a juvenile after being released is unbelievably high. 76 of juveniles that were arrested end up re-offending after only 3 years. That means within 3 years, 76% of children that were arrested and put into juvie will be re-offenders and put either back into juvie or into jail if they're old enough. And that is significantly higher than adult re-offenders. So when this all originally happened, I was at a very different point in my life. I was 17 years old. I was living with my mom. I was not yet working. I was not yet doing YouTube, so I was making absolutely no money for myself, and my mom was in college trying to create a better life for my brother and sister, as I was old, about to move on and create my own life. I have 2 younger siblings that she still needed to make sure she could provide for, and the truth is I love my mom to death, but she did not do a very good job at doing that for most of my life. Most of my life we were extremely poor, and I do believe that had an effect on me, as I don't really know anybody personally who grew up in similar circumstances as me, and because of that my mindset is a lot different than the people that I know personally and the people that I went to high school with, because they just didn't go through quite the same struggles as me, and we just can't quite relate as well, because the truth is that a lot of the kids that grew up like me didn't make it out. They're still getting locked up and they're still broke, and that's sad. And when you grow up really poor with absolutely no money, living paycheck to paycheck your entire life, it puts it in your head that that's the only way to live. There is no other way to live. In my mind, there was no other life outside of living paycheck to paycheck until I turned 18, to be completely honest with you. So I thought that's all I had. I thought that's all I had to look forward to, and that was a huge part of me getting in trouble as a child. Alright, so we're 5 minutes into this video. Let's actually get to the point. I just wanted to put it in your guys' head kind of where I was, where my mindset was at the time, and also if you're going through anything similar, just know it will not always be that way as long as you're willing to put the work in to change your life. No one's gonna do it for you. So again, this story starts off when I'm 17. I had already been locked up once at 16 for something small. I was locked up for like the weekend, which is usually what they do when you're a juvenile. They will just put you in there for the weekend and then let you go. This was the second time that I had gotten locked up. So what basically happened was me and this one girl were in an on and off super toxic just high school relationship. I'm sure many of you guys have seen it in your high school. Many of you guys have maybe even been through it. Just an on and off toxic relationship. If me and her weren't talking, I was probably talking to a different girl. Just super toxic and not anything that was gonna last, looking back on it now 2 years in the future. But she's kind of the whole middle ground for the beginning of this fight. And yes, it was a fight that got me locked up and a fight that made me a felon at 17 years old. So this is how it happened. At the time, I had already been kicked out of the school that we were going to. I had met this girl my sophomore year of high school at the school that I was going to at the time. At some point during my junior year, I got kicked out of school for a completely different fight. And this took place during my senior year when I got let back into school after being out of school for almost an entire year. And unfortunately, this fight right here marked my final days in high school, because after this fight, your boy never stepped another foot inside of any high school. So what was happening was I was going to a completely different school than this girl at the time. It was actually the original high school that I went to my freshman year. And like I said, me and this girl were super on and off for pretty much all of high school. Like I said, I met her during my sophomore year, and this shit didn't stop until this fight my senior year of high school. Non-stop for 3 years, just super toxic. And for some reason, I decided during this day that I wanted to talk to her. I wanted to be on again, which was a huge mistake because this girl is extremely toxic. And of course, I know that now. So what I did was I left school early and I went to her school and I kicked it by her car. And I had left right before school ended, so I wasn't sitting there like a little fucking Eugene weirdo for 3 hours. It was like 15 minutes. They get off of school, and just for a little background, her friends fucking hated me. Like, it was one of those situations where we were dating and her friends were just not having it for whatever reason. So her friends see me and are extremely pissed off. In fact, they actually come up to me first, all up in my face. Like, me and her friends were like borderline beefing. Like, we did not like each other. All up in my face, this and that. I eventually get around them and begin talking to her. And you've ever seen those like really toxic couples that they don't really realize how toxic they're being, but to everyone else around them, it's like, what the fuck is wrong with these two? That was basically us. So what happened was one of her friends didn't like the way that the situation was going and sent her little pussy boy boyfriend over to me. And at the time, I am not the type of person that you would want to come up to when I'm in the middle of a conversation with the girl that I'm trying to talk to, right? So I'm talking to the girl and this little freak comes up behind me talking about back the fuck up. And if someone was to do that to me today, I would probably just laugh at you. But me being who I was at the time in my mindset, I was disrespected. I was like, who are you telling to back the fuck up? Like, I don't even know you, which I didn't. I had never met this kid before in my life, but apparently he knew about me and exactly who I was. So I turn around and I get in his face and I'm just like, who are you? Why are you talking to me? How do you know who I am? Blah, blah, blah. And as soon as I did that, he actually lifted up his shirt and in his pants was a taser. Now, to this day, they claim it was pepper spray, but I definitely saw a taser, and this taser actually comes into play later in the story when the fight actually happens. but as soon as I saw the taser, I backed up. There's nothing I can do about a taser. If a dude has a taser, I'm hitting the ground. There's literally nothing I can do about it. So as soon as I saw the taser again, I backed up, and as soon as I backed up, I guess he saw that as an opportunity to get out of there, because I backed up and they all hopped in the car and left. Now looking back on it, I very easily could have and should have left the situation at that, but me being who I was at the time, again, I felt disrespected for the way that he went about the situation, and I thought I had to beat his ass for it. So I figured out exactly who he was only a few hours after that situation. I hit him up on Instagram and we start talking shit. But the thing about him was he had a lot of confidence for how little of a person he was. So he was talking all the shit. I'm talking about, I'm gonna beat your ass, you're too much of a pussy to show up, this and that. Literally telling me that he's gonna beat my fucking ass if I show up. So I'm like, bet, like, beat my ass. I dare you to beat my fucking ass, right? So what I think happened was he expected me to show up the next day, but I didn't do that. This situation happened on a Tuesday, and I decided to show back up next Tuesday because I'm not an idiot, and I know that if I show up the day after you're telling me to show up to beat my ass, you're gonna have 5 other people there, and I am gonna get my ass whooped. And of course, I'm going to his school, so there was always the possibility that he was gonna be with a big group of people when I did show up. So I brought one friend with me, one friend and one friend only, and we did exactly what we planned to do. The plan was we were going to show up after school when he got out ready to fight, and my friend was not gonna jump in unless someone else tried to jump in and either stop the fight or jump in and try to beat me up 2-on-1, you know what I'm saying? So this is where it all goes bad. We're waiting there. One of my friends actually walks by, and I have to ask him to point the dude out for me because that first time that we met was a week ago in the parking lot. I didn't know who this guy was or what he even really looked like. I only talked to him for about 5 minutes, so I had to have my friend point him out. My friend pointed him out for me, and the fight is on. And I'll be honest, I actually just re-watched the video over and over with my friend the other day. It was just a coincidence that he came over and was showing me the video because he still has it. Yes, there is a video. No, I'm not going to show you guys the video. It's actually pretty graphic and will probably get my video taken down. But the fight started, and it started just me and him as it was supposed to be, and I'll be honest, I was beating the shit out of him. I was absolutely beating his ass. I was the bigger and meaner person. To be completely honest, he never really had much of a chance. While I was beating that ass though, his brother decided to try to jump in, and that instantly cued my friend to then jump in and end the fight with me. So his brother tried to jump in, my friend hit his brother with like 2 or 3 punches, and his brother literally left the area and left his brother there to get his ass beat by now 2 people. So once his brother tried to jump in, my friend sent a couple punches, and then he jumps in on the rest of the fight. You know, the plan was never it to be a 2-on-1, but once his brother tried to jump in, everything was off, and now all our plan is to finish the fight and get the fuck out of there. So unfortunately, once his brother tried to jump in, my friend jumps in, and we completely end up just destroying the dude, stomping him out right there on the pavement. I'm gonna be completely honest with you, I think we almost killed him. If I'm remembering correctly, I do believe that there was some slight internal bleeding coming from him after the fight. It wasn't anything serious, and obviously he survived, but it's true, the opportunity for the kid to die was there, and that's crazy to say. So after the fight, me and my friend ended up just running away from the entire area, and we ended up back at home later that day. And as a small side note, I might keep calling the kid that I fought kid, but he's actually a couple months older than me, so remember that. I wasn't going to high school as a senior beating the shit out of like a sophomore. He was literally the same grade and a little bit older than me. But like I said, after the fight we went home, and everything was pretty chill at first. Of course, my mom ended up figuring out about it, and she was mad, but she already knew that the real punishment was just on its way, so there wasn't a lot of punishment at home. But like I said, the fight happened on a Tuesday, and if I'm remembering correctly, Friday night at around 8 p.m. we heard that they actually put out a warrant for my arrest and the arrest of my friend that was involved in the fight. And at 10 a.m. that morning, about 5 or 6 police officers end up at my door, covering every inch of the house. They were in the back, the other back door, the front door, they were by the windows. They were waiting for your boy. Had about 6 cops, guns, I'm talking the whole 9 yards. You would have thought that they were arresting a murderer. So they bring me out of the house. I'm all in shorts, like I said, there's like 6 of them, and then they have to walk me around the block in handcuffs with all these cops because I was living on like a super busy street. So like only 1 or 2 of the cops actually parked in my driveway, and the rest parked around the corner and walked to my house. So they then had to walk me back around the corner to the actual cars, and they put me in the car and drove me to Juvie. Alright, so this video was a lot longer than I thought it was gonna be, and I know that was because I talked for 5 minutes before actually getting into the story. So if you guys would like to hear more about the story, what it was like in Juvie, how I ended up not going to Juvie for 9 months. I was also locked up with the school shooter. So if you guys would like a continuation of the story, just let me know down in the comment section, and I will make a second part to the story explaining how my time in Juvie was. With that being said, I'm going to end the video here. If you guys enjoyed the video, drop a like, comment down in the comment section, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.